Okay, the first programming exercise you have asks you to make sure that this GetTypeofGame function over here is called, because at the moment it's not. At the moment, actually, where it says here, right, do you want to play the sample game, read line type of game, get type of game, becomes type of game, that's never actually called. If we have a look back down into the main, we've got this. Do you want to play the sample game? Read line sample game. And then we've got a check here to see, whether the sample game user entry was a capital Y, or does it need to be moved from lowercase to uppercase? And that's all happening in the main, so we never actually call that that function up there anyway. So what we want to do really is we want to get rid of this chunk of code from the main, and we want to just make sure that we're calling that function. But those of you who are bright sparks will have noticed that actually this GetTypeofGame function doesn't do as much as the one in the var section, because it doesn't do that clever conversion if the user's inadvertently entered something that's lowercase. Okay? So I'm going to copy that code into this function, then I'm going to delete what's in the main and just call this function. So just take this code, just Control X to cut and paste. Make sure we've... Now, what you'll notice is you have to change it a little bit, because the variable has got a different name when it's the global variable within this function. It's actually called type of game. Before we were calling it sample game. So I'm going to call it here type of game. I mean, I could have left this check in the main, but I think it's nice to keep as much programming as we can out of the main. So here we have it. Okay, we're going to read in their sort of entry as in yes or no for type of game they want to play, store that as a character variable. We're going to convert it from lowercase to uppercase if necessary. Then we're going to return that value as GetTypeofGame to where the function was called from, which is going to be the main, although at the moment we haven't called it. So I need to delete this duplicate code here, but obviously what the next thing to do is to initialize the board, and we need the sample game value set. So I need to say that sample game becomes GetTypeofGame. Remember, when you call a function, it has to be called as part of an assignment statement. So then sample game will take the value that's returned by the GetTypeofGame function, and then we'll be good to go forward. So we can just check that that's running okay. Do I want to play the sample game? If I put a lowercase y, we'll just check that that still takes that as a yes by converting it to an uppercase. And yes, that looks like the sample game to me, so I think we're good to go. So good luck with sorting that one out for yourselves.